Marlowe had never liked parking garages. The dimly lit structures felt like mazes of shadows, every corner a potential ambush. He moved quickly toward his car, the sound of his footsteps echoing eerily off the concrete walls. His mind buzzed with the night's revelations. Jamie's cryptic words had given him a direction, but not enough to satisfy his growing obsession. The frustration gnawed at him as he reached for his keys. The voice came out of nowhere. "Detective Marlowe." Marlowe froze, his hand hovering over the door handle. The voice was calm, but carried an undertone of menace. Slowly he turned, his other hand inching toward the concealed holster at his side. A figure emerged from the shadows, dressed in a long coat that swayed with their movements. The low lighting obscured their face, but their posture exuded confidence, even control. Marlowe tensed, his instincts screaming at him to be ready for anything. "You've been asking questions where you shouldn't," the figure continued, their voice steady. "Poking around in places that don't concern you." Marlowe straightened, his jaw tightening. "Who are you?" The figure ignored the question, taking a deliberate step closer. "You think you're on the trail of something dangerous. You have no idea how right you are." Marlowe's hand hovered near his weapon, his body coiled like a spring. He tried to read the figure, searching for any sign of a weapon or a weakness. "I don't scare easily," Marlowe said, his voice low. "If you're here to stop me, you're wasting your time." The figure chuckled, a sound that sent a shiver down Marlowe's spine. "This isn't about fear, detective. It's about understanding. You're digging into a world you don't belong to. The people you're hunting aren't the ones you should be afraid of." Marlowe's eyes narrowed. "If you know so much, why don't you enlighten me?" The figure paused, as if considering the question. When they spoke again, their tone was laced with something that almost sounded like pity. "You're blinded by your own prejudices, your own anger. It's clouding your judgment. If you keep going, you won't find justice. You'll find something much worse." "Is that a threat?" Marlowe demanded, his voice rising. "A warning," the figure corrected. "Walk away, Marlowe. Let this go before it consumes you." Marlowe's mind raced as he processed the cryptic words. Every instinct screamed at him to demand more, to tear down the veil of mystery surrounding this figure. But something about their tone, the weight of their words, froze him in place. The figure seemed to sense his hesitation, their posture relaxing as though the warning had been delivered and the rest was out of their hands. The tension snapped like a taut wire. Marlowe lunged forward, intent on closing the distance and demanding answers. But the figure moved with startling agility, slipping back into the shadows. "Hey!" Marlowe shouted, his voice echoing through the garage. He drew his weapon, his eyes scanning the dimly lit expanse. A flicker of movement to his left. Marlowe pivoted, his pulse pounding in his ears. "Stop!" Silence answered him. The figure was gone, swallowed by the maze of concrete pillars and parked cars. Marlowe lowered his weapon slowly, his frustration boiling over. Whoever they were, they had known his name, his investigation, his every move, and they had vanished without a trace. He checked his surroundings again, his instincts on high alert. The parking garage was quiet now, the hum of distant traffic the only sound. But the encounter had left its mark. Marlowe's mind churned, replaying every word, every movement. Who were they? How had they known so much? And why did their warning feel less like a threat and more like an omen? A sound broke through the silence, a faint rustling, like fabric brushing against concrete. Marlowe spun, his weapon raised. Nothing. Only the faint hum of fluorescent lights overhead. But the sound had been real, and his pulse quickened as he realized the figure might still be near, watching him from the darkness. He took a cautious step forward, his eyes straining to penetrate the shadows. "Show yourself," he barked, his voice echoing off the walls. The silence that followed was deafening, stretching his nerves taut. A bead of sweat rolled down his temple as he scanned the empty expanse. Then, as abruptly as it had started, the sense of being watched vanished, leaving him standing alone. As Marlowe drove away, the city lights streaking past his window, their words lingered in his mind. "You're digging into a world you don't belong to." The statement gnawed at him. He'd spent his career uncovering secrets, peeling back layers of deception to expose the truth. But this felt different. There was an undercurrent of something he couldn't place. Fear, perhaps, or desperation. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel, his resolve hardening. Whoever they were, they had underestimated him. He wasn't the type to back down, not when he was this close. But as the streetlights cast fleeting shadows across his face, a flicker of doubt crept in. What if they were right? What if he really didn't understand what he was chasing? Marlowe shook the thought away, his focus returning to the road. Doubt wouldn't help him now. He had a lead, a mission, and nothing would deter him. As he pulled into his driveway and killed the engine, the night felt heavier than usual. He sat in the car for a moment, the events of the evening replaying in his mind. A shadow of unease settled over him, one that no amount of resolve could shake. Somewhere in the depths of the city, secrets festered, and Marlowe was determined to unearth them. But as he stepped out of the car and into the cold embrace of the night, he couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows were watching and waiting. Want to know what happens next? I won't spoil it for you here. You can dive into the full story in this amazing ebook. It's packed with twists, suspense, and a conclusion that will blow your mind. The full story is waiting for you. Just click the link pinned in the comments section and grab your copy. You'll be glad you did. So, what are you waiting for? Unlock the full adventure now, and let me know what you think of the ending. It's unforgettable, and that's where this episode ends. But trust me, the story is just getting started. In the next part, things take an unexpected turn, and secrets you never saw coming will be revealed. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, so you're the first to catch the next episode. And if you're as hooked as I am, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Got any theories or guesses about what might happen next? Share them, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Gay Hunter. Until then, stay curious and stay tuned.